could all go horribly wrong at any minute.
Hello there, and welcome to the 176th edition of Lewis Black's Rantcast, entitled "The Most Innocent Man Ever." Ever. It's astonishing, except for maybe the guy that they just let out of prison in Chicago, who was basically was picked out of a lineup by someone who was, and I hate to laugh because I think he was in prison 12 years. He was picked out of the lineup by someone who was legally blind, and the cops had kind of told him what to do. You imagine that? That's about how much more innocent you picked out of a blind man. A blind man had said, hey, he's the one who did it. That's unbelievable, but still, it's really extraordinary, how profoundly innocent Donald Trump is. I mean, it's beyond belief that they could even think that he had done anything wrong, anytime, anywhere. Seriously, all those indictments, not only here in New York City, but around the 91 of them, and 34 are now. Apparently, they say he's guilty, but I'm serious. I mean, look, as Mario Rubio told us, this is just like a trial in Cuba when his family, when they were fleeing under Castro, there were these type of trials. So essentially, what Mario was telling us, that part of the reason that he was declared guilty was because he didn't understand what was going on there, because it was entirely like the trials that were in Cuba. They were in Spanish, and it's just not a language he knows. Or apparently the lawyers, the only people who knew it really were the 12 of his peers who had incredible backgrounds in terms of Spanish fluency, and the judge, who also awful man, but a profound understanding of the language of the Spanish language. So that's the way it is. I'm only talking about this because I'm back, as you can see. I'm home, back to the incredible, yes, it is the incredible public access studio that I've set up here. And is it good to be home? Yeah, it's sort of good to be home. What was interesting was to get off the plane that night, and the first news that really apparently spread through those of us getting off the plane as soon as we hit the ground, really, and we're taxiing, was that they'd said he was guilty, and I didn't expect that. Didn't expect it at all, to be honest. I mean, 12 of them agreed on. First off, I thought a few of these would be thrown out. I imagined that they couldn't agree on a bunch of these. Are New Yorkers. They can't agree on anything. The fact that they could agree on this just I find it mind-boggling, and especially that they could say that he was guilty. Someone that innocent. Someone who is that smart, no one is smarter, no one. He knows everything, and as I said before, he knows how much wood a woodchuck would, if a woodchuck could chuck wood. He knows it all. He's an extraordinary businessman. Nobody's a better businessman. Nobody has better hair. Nobody has really is as sexy as he is, and has slept with his many beautiful women, and he wouldn't possibly need to do any of the things that they said that he did. And that the really, what was the crime? The only crime he committed, he hadn't paid the guy at the National Enquirer for the first story that they ran about McDougal, McDonald. I'm running out of brain space for what's going on, but he owed them, $150,000 to kibosh the story, the first story, before Stormy came along and he owed 150,000. He hadn't paid him. A friend of his. This is like, but sometimes he's got so much going on. There's so much occurring that it escapes him to be able to get the payoffs done. And let me just say, I mean, how extraordinarily innocent. I was just looked at my phone and I fell to my knees practically and let out a cry. How is this possible that this could happen to someone who was giving us so much every day, more and more and more? He cannot share enough with us as we get greater and greater and greater. But I'll be back in a minute because I've just got to lie down and overcome what's occurred here in the past few days. And we'll go on to the tales of Europe momentarily. Well, here I am again after 10 to 11 hours of sleep. I don't know, maybe it was the jet lag, but I really think it was the extraordinary events that have occurred in the and when he came out of that courtroom with the light shining behind his head, you just knew, you had to know. And certainly all of the Republicans who were talking about what a sham this trial is. And, we've seen this in the Bible. You saw this with Jesus. I don't even have time to go into it because I don't really know the story. But I keep reading that apparently, Jesus was having his own troubles too, and the Donald is really just kind of traveling in the path, and it's been, brought to us really by the Lord Himself to give us to give us a fully innocent person again, a lamb, really, if you will, a lamb of God. But a strong lamb, a lamb who could play golf, a lamb who really could win, country club championships, be named the winner of the champion of an event for seniors, and not only that, but he's won as the club championship itself, and is the best golfer at the club, his own club. Which is really, that shows that, he has a complete understanding. No one who's as innocent as him could possibly be cheating in golf, really, and needed to get those awards. As you can see, I'm a little amazed by all of this. He has been sent as a messenger, and that so many people are missing it. Sent, by the Lord Himself to remind us that, to really teach us that it was the first time with Jesus, it was, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, but Donald is back to tell us, no, that was not the message. Don't do unto others as you would not do unto yourselves, whatever that means. We're not supposed to share. We're not supposed to care. We're not supposed to be kind. Okay? It's a whole other attitude. He is here to show us, to embrace, he is here to show us the way to freedom, the freedom that we're lacking here, the freedom that we have been complete. We've lost it. We have lost all of our freedoms. We're all in a prison, really, and He will release us from that prison. You can see from the light, people were just overwhelmed around Him, and then to be able to go to His big, Trump Tower, which is made of the same gold, I believe, as the golden cow or whatever it was that, and I should know this. That they started to worship, when Moses was up looking for the 10 Commandments. No, it's the gold you need to worship, and He's there showing them this yet again as He made that incredible speech, almost in tongues. In tongues, that's how deep it goes, that He's able to communicate. They call it senility at times. Oh, please, okay? We know who's senile, Satan himself. And the fact that he backs off really from going further with his recriminations of he just goes far enough that that this is a fascist state. Oh, it's worse than that, folks. Worse that he is able to show discretion and to not go further in his criticism and call out the president for what he is, Satan himself. Satan himself. And this is how we know, yet again, that he truly has been sent to renew our faith in Christ by renewing it in He who has been given to us by God, so that we could understand what this century is really all about. Who has a better handle on social media? Even came up with his own brand. I could sit here and go on, and I will, as the weeks go by, as we roll toward this election. I am tired of watching what they're doing on the media and the madness that is there, and that discussion of I'm going to finally, now that I see it clearly, having gone to Europe and come back, because even the Europeans, and I'll be talking about them. The tour. I thought I was going to be able to talk about it today, but I'm so overcome, and I'm waiting to get really my Trump Bible before I continue talking about this too, about him and my Trump sneakers and whatever else will be coming down the pike. Maybe a Trump cross. But boy, I hope so. And those red hats, huh? Who comes up with a hat like that? Make America Great Again hat? Wow. That's a hat that signals to each other. We don't need a great looking hat. We got a hat that we can, boy, it's the red, the blood of, won't even go into it. See symbols everywhere. But I'll be talking about what's happening, my time in Europe, which was just great, and obviously sent me back with a completely new attitude. Because over there, you could see, look, folks, for all the facts, for all the times that we kind of act as if we have no effect on the world, you better fucking get a grip on it. We do. And it is overwhelming when you sit there in front of a TV in the Netherlands or in Belgium or in England or in Sweden or in Berlin, Germany. You sit there for a half an hour and flip around. You get that news and they're pumping our stuff right at them. They know who these people are. They know the acolytes, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matthew Gates. They know them by name. I was in front of them performing. I could name them, and they would laugh and laugh and laugh. Joy. I thought it was laughter of joy. But they certainly were new and could follow. And you could see that in every country I went to, that choices are being made. They went, wow, you have chosen someone who appears to be so off the rails. And we shall choose them too. But and what they don't realize is, no, he's, as I realized coming back here, not off the rails. No, a teacher who's given us a new way to look at things. And we better start looking at them that way, because things could get tough. Even though the numbers after the trial were, way, is he guilty? Yeah, he's guilty, people say. Well, and that just, what does guilt prove? What does the fact that they called him guilty prove? That he's innocent. And I leave you there, because enough is enough. This has been a joy. I am so touched by all of this. I don't know how long I can keep this up week to week. But I can promise you next week I'm going to be talking about the tour of Europe, and maybe I'll regain my sanity when we come back then. But I think I'm going to bring this new attitude to the table and see how long it works. And I hope it worked for you. We've got some terrific stuff coming up here. while I was gone, some great rants came in from Berlin, Belgium, London, and I hope you enjoy them. They get a lot to say to us, a whole lot. I'll help you recover with this. I've got a couple of rants I'm going to read that came from folks who I believe are here this evening. And I read a couple every night. And then this weekend, if you're around and bored on Saturday night, and we'll do a live feed of The Rant is Due out of, we're going to do it out of Richmond if all goes well. And so you can catch that. You can watch it on your computer or on your phone or you know, if you got a ham radio. This is from, I don't know which one is funnier. This is from Michael Levine, and he's pickles. You've received many a rant about them, and it is a bit baffling to choose to eat something that's basically entombed in juices meant to ferment it into one of the pharaoh's organs after mummification. But my rant is not about pickles. They get a pass when compared to the scourge of the vegetable world that infects every vegetable medley under the sun. Green peas. I'm reading this because not once in the 10 years or 12 years that I've been reading rants has anyone complained about peas. Green peas are Mother Nature's little balls of baby shit, wrapped in the thinnest layer of paper ever created. So it's guaranteed to implode in your mouth like a World War II depth charge. The only people who should have to eat this shit are babies who have no choice in the matter. It's not necessary to eat your food pureed after the age of 3. Not that I don't like some foods that are mushy. Mashed potatoes, for instance, are a golden mountain of deliciousness. I wonder, Michael, did you, with kind of a tear come to your eye? That is until somebody ruins it by throwing peas in there, tarnishing its symmetry with Satan's Easter egg hunt. I know why the guys in Close Encounters of the Third Kind went insane. It wasn't the aliens. Someone put peas in the mashed potatoes, and he had to dig each and every one of those fuckers out so his dinner didn't have a flavor rivaling that of a couple of urinal cakes at a music festival. Thank you for reading this, Lewis, and thank you for writing it, Michael. And this is from Eric David, and you performed here, which I did in February 2020, right before COVID, and you closed your show with my rant about taking my kids to Disney the following month. I know you were waiting with bated breath, so I thought I'd give you a brief update. Eric, I can't tell you how many times I've sat at that computer hoping that you're fucking, I've waited fucking years for this. And I'm finally glad you finished the story, you fuck. We made it to soul-sucking Orlando just in time for the whole fucking world to blow up with a highly communicable virus while we were stuck in lines with 50,000 of our best fucking friends every day. As our phones blew up with the news of the virus, I thought it'd be no big deal until the notification came across that March Madness was canceled. That's when I knew we were fucked! That night, they announced the parks would be open for 2 more days and then closing indefinitely. Since we couldn't get an earlier flight home, we decided to stay and roll the dice. Good move, Eric. If we were going to die, shouldn't it be in the happiest place on earth? By the way, whoever came up with that line ought to be airdropped into a Trump rally wearing a "Fuck Your Second Amendment" t-shirt. We made it home alive, though all of our skin was burnt off after my wife made us take thrice daily baths in hand sanitizer. As luck would have it, we're here tonight in Wilmington, a week away from another vacation, but we finally learned our lesson. The kids are staying home, and we're heading to the Caribbean. If ever I need to take a bath again, it's going to be in fucking rum. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for that. I hope it's not a fucking precursor for another fucking pandemic, Eric. I'm sitting there reading toward the end going, holy fuck, maybe he's the reason. A couple of rants I'm going to read. Some of the others I'll be reading out of Richmond tomorrow. We tried to print them, but once again, they're fucking spiteful fucking tech. Son of a bitch. Oh, you want to print this? Fuck you. You sure you don't want to see a rat's anus instead? No! This comes to us. I decided I was going to read both these, but I'll read. There's one from Cheryl Carney, who refers to herself as Betty Cracker, and just know that I'll be reading that in a week or so that you'll be hearing that. But I wanted to read this one from Lisa Wallace. I live in Northern Virginia in a very prosperous county called Fairfax. The excitement is, please let me, I'm overwhelmed. But really, I'm not prospering. I'm floundering around in a nebulous universe of intangible possibilities. We all are, and it's exhausting. And we're all pissed off most of the time because opportunities presented suck and make us all look stupid, especially the ones who fall for it. Let me give examples. At work, you're part of our team. Fuck no. You're exploiting us for the bottom line. But we have bills to pay, where we rent housing. Let's build community. God damn it, no. You're squeezing all that you can out of us. And if we don't comply, hello, eviction. At the grocery store, join our club. Fuck! I almost have to, even though we know the game you cocksuckers play, giving discounts on prices you already raised. Everything is owned by entities run by millionaire executives who only care about wealth and shareholders. And there's no team or community or club in that except their own cutthroat ones where everyone is greedy for more. These are poisonous, dark little souls who drain all they can, wringing us out for the last drops, drawing us in with illusions that we're benefiting within their grand, sparkling empires. Fuckers. Wow. That's just, wow. I'm going to read this one, Bart. I'm not going to read this Bart, Del Chimuto. It turns out that, I'm going to just read you the end. Indeed, she said, here, the next morning, with uncharacteristically limited recollection of the prior night, I met my friends in the hotel lobby for a sightseeing death march. They giddily asked what I thought of her, a girl that he'd met the night before, while singing Going to the Chapel. I replied, seems like a delightful person. I can't wait to meet her. At the same time, my bride-to-be was confidentially telling her brunch companions, I just met my husband. Indeed, she had some good vodka, a hotel room steam iron, and an amazing Lewis Black performance. Helped me make the best decision of my life, saying I do to that wonderful woman from Maryland who will be sitting next to me tonight while we enjoy Lewis Black at the Kennedy Center. Yep, that's the kind of magic. That's the kind of magic screaming fuck 180 times. If only the Kennedy Center knew every night could be date night. Adam Belson. Thank you for this. Yes, sir. Weighing in on a topic that never grows old. Hey, Lou, it's me again. I just listened to Rantcast 174, and I just want to say to Mark, who loves pickles, fuck pickles. They are the vile, diseased, decrepit penises of society, and they don't belong anywhere near my food. Huh? They smell like the back room of a rundown strip club in rural Arkansas. Fuck them. Leave cucumbers just the way they are when they come out of the ground. Fresh, crunchy, and goddamn delicious. Well said, Adam. Well said. This comes to us from Rachel Adkins. She was in the audience in London, England, when I was there, and she's pissed. And she has a right to be, and I think you'll see why I'm sharing this with you. Thank you, Rachel. I just want to thank you, Lewis, for coming over to London and for the gig tonight. I was feeling really good about the evening until something really unpleasant happened to me after Jeff had finished his set and we were at the intermission. I had just sat when a security staff member found me out, sat next to me and said someone had made a complaint about me for being too enthusiastic during Jeff's set. And I was pretty hurt by that. I have autism and depression and anxiety issues, which I told the security person, and she said, that's okay, do your thing. After that, I didn't know what to do. Fuck. I've waited since last year for this gig because to me, Lewis, you give voice to my inner frustrations and feelings of being fucked over. Like an Old Testament prophet, you have been instrumental in becoming a voice for many people who are fucked over by the same stony-faced, humorless, self-important pricks with a stick up there behind. Why go see Lewis Black, fuckers? Can I enjoy my night out and be free to be my autistic, socialist mess of a human being who finds solace in what's coming off the stage? Huh? I am used to seeing metal and rock bands and singing along with them and being part of what is going on in the stage. Sorry, but I'm tired and too old to be the reserved person who took myself far too seriously. Maybe being transgender, and I don't enjoy being so, but I'm trying to survive in this world. And yes, I also have a deep faith in God and a love for those people less fortunate than myself. So I hope the person who complained about me is pleased with themselves because you sent me back to my hotel room and back to the antidepressants that I washed down with beer and I stuffed my face with a crappy pizza. Fuck you very much. I appreciate your work, Lewis, and for giving me the chance to say this. I hope that when I go see the Scorpions at Wembley, nobody complains about my singing and enjoying myself. Sometimes, Lewis, it doesn't pay to get out of bed at all. Some people are just too much. I'm sorry I had to leave, Rachel. I really apologize for that. Jeff had mentioned that there was someone in the audience that night. I think he mentioned that there was someone who was being a little vocal, but he said it really wasn't interfering with him, and I'm really sorry that you felt the need to leave. I wish I'd known, and we would have put you off on the stage right. I think if we could have, and you could have watched from there, and not have to deal with people being idiotic. I mean, I'm really sorry. It's that simple. My apologies. Hopefully, there'll be no problems at Wembley, and give your voice to the Scorpions. And double it for, with what you would have given to me. Thanks. Thanks for being a fan. I'm glad I was able to read this, Rachel. Michael Aubert, here's one for you. Hi, Lewis. I was supposed to be in the audience tonight in London, but I threw my back getting laid last night because I'm an old man, too. I'm French, but I became aware of your work as I was becoming fluent in English. You've always been the voice of anger in my head. I've missed my shot at seeing you live after watching you through a screen for 20 years. And that pisses me off. But I regret nothing and suspect you'll forgive me. Enjoy the partial retirement. You deserve it. And I certainly forgive you, Michael. And that's the first time I've ever heard that reason for someone not coming to see my show. And I'm glad it worked out well for you. Sorry about your back, but I think you're probably over it by now. I hope so. Well done, Michael. Well done. Here's another one from London, from John Rose. Dear Lewis, I'm coming with my wife to see you this evening in London. Please tell all the kind folk in my town of Bath who walk on the road and not the pavement to get the fuck out of traffic so I can get my kids to school on time. Huh? The pavement is in good condition, and I genuinely don't understand how this is a thing. I'm in an electric car, so they don't even hear me coming, so I have to taken to winding down the window and banging on the roof like I'm listening to music rather than honking the horn because I don't want you to have a heart attack. But my patience is running thin, so please get the fuckity fuck out of my way. Thanks, John. No, thank you, John. And you can thank me you said thanks for coming to see us. No, thank you for coming to see me. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun in London, a lot. I'd waited a long time to come back there, and I wish I'd been given the opportunity to work there more, and I will never understand why it didn't work out. Maybe I'll explain that at some point. All right. John S. wants to get something off his chest, okay? He's irritated. And in the meantime, he'll be teaching us a bit about the folks who've been running merry old England. And I'm so thrilled that I could get to say finally merry old England. I don't know why I said it, but here we go. I'm an American citizen born in New Jersey, the Garden State, and a British citizen as a result of living and working in the UK for the last 23 years, since 2001. My rant is focused on elections. As a dual citizen, I've thought seriously about running for president in the USA and as the prime minister in the UK, but I pulled back from it because it would have done my fucking head in. I'm a doer, unlike the useless, incompetent, unqualified, fucking moronic politicians on both sides of the pond. If you've not heard about the mess on this side of the pond, here is a brief fucking synopsis. David Cameron drove the UK off of a cliff thanks to his stupid fucking referendum in 2016. There is no denying the facts. The UK doesn't need to exist thanks to this Brexit mess, which only required a simple majority to get through. We are where we are. Brings us to Theresa May taking over after Cameron resigned shortly after the Brexit vote. She tried but failed, and then came in Bozo Johnson. Let's not forget he used to be on Have I Got News for You? He failed this country and ultimately got booted due to his Partygate mess during the pandemic. Then came in Liz Truss, who lasted less time than a lettuce, and she destroyed the economy. Then we got the unelected, unqualified Rishi Sunak. Before getting involved in politics, he was a failed investor. And I've alleged, sure, why not? He then became a shit chancellor with another awful track record, such as eat out to help out, or more like eat out to kill your fucking friends and family. And now, as our unelected PM, he has no fucking vision, is a failure and flying this plane into the fucking ground. I can't wait for this asshole to go when he loses the upcoming election. Though shame on the Labour Party, it's fucking awful as well, just not as bad. And their leader isn't a fucking spineless loser. All the best. John, sorry I had to skip something there at the end that would make no sense to any of you. So there we go. Thank you, John. A little lesson in the the leaders that have sent, as John sees it, sent the merry old England down the toilet. Wow. Yeah, I forgot that it came under Cameron, that vote. All righty. Thanks, John. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy, or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me. Aha, Lewis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly.